Welcome to Irvin Gaming, and in one of my most recent videos, the subscriber Sam Reds, or Sam Red, I don't remember which one, sorry mate, requested to see my entire Hungarian collection, so I thought I'd pull it out. There's also some over there, which we'll get to soon, but I thought I'd start with the main force. This is kind of, if I'm playing with my Hungarians, you're almost guaranteed to see the majority of these units on the board. So I thought I'd go through them. We got a handful of infantry squads, which are all effectively mostly the same. So they all have a light machine gun, and they all have the maximum amount of Panzerfausts, which is 2. And as well as 2 Panzerfausts, they have the maximum amount of submachine guns, which I believe is 3. Next to them over here, you can see my spare guys. So these are guys who can jump in and out of a squad as needed, and I can also switch things up. So you'll notice this squad currently has an MG42. So I can actually, if I need to, switch them up to an MG30 to save 5 points. And my other 2 squads both have MG30s, which are these guys on the double base there, and these guys on the double base here. And so I do have an MG42 there, and I am working on getting some more Hungarians with those weapons. We'll have a look at what brand new gimbal here that I'm still working on. You can see my kind of work in progress section over there with the rest of the army. So we'll have a look at that in a second. My pride and joy. This was the channel banner. I think it actually still might be the channel banner. Is the Nimrod anti-aircraft vehicle. For a long time, this was the best painting I'd done. I've now surpassed it, but it was for a time my best paint job. And yeah, a great vehicle. I love the autocannons are probably some of the best weapons in the game. And so to have the nice heavy autocannon, amazing. We got up here a sniper team who actually fit very perfectly into my display board. There's a little hole for them because I never go to a tournament without a sniper. Because it's like the one time I did, I regretted not having one. So even if they do nothing, it's better to have it and not use it than to need it and not have one. Got ourselves the mortar team. And over here with my spare guys, I've got the spotter for the mortar. There he is. Now, you'll notice the other thing is quite a few of these Hungarians are conversions. There is no Hungarian model that carries an MG42, for example. None that I'm aware of, anyway. Unfortunately, there was more conversions, but a commissioned painter I'd worked with quite a few times, actually. He was quite reliable. Suddenly just went rogue, and yeah, I lost about $80 worth of Hungarians, plus the money I'd paid him to paint them. This is my first ever diorama display board I've worked on. It's meant to just represent somewhere in Hungary or Romania in the Carpathians. I was a little bit disappointed with this plaque that I commissioned. It's just all a bit too close together. But Ade, wir sind kein Schwimmwagen. And the main part of the this is not removable. This little command, I think it's the SD KFAS 253. Don't quote me on that. I don't think you can actually use it in bolt action. And it's in there, and I've tried to put a lot of rust effect on it here. Sad thing was, when I made this, the river was a lot more transparent at first. You can kind of see some of the transparency here where I put some little rocks and stuff, but most of that transparency is gone. Still looks pretty nice, I think. And for my very first ever diorama, I'm very happy with this. Yeah, we've got the officer up the front here. And then in this little thing here, we've got a pencil realm. He sits in there. I love that what I did with this little trench was I put like a tiny bit of resin at the bottom to make it look like mud. So the pencil realm here is a rather simple conversion. It was a Panzerschreck, but I've cut the little shield off the front, and I've added, this here is just a little bit of sprue or something that I've added, because that's what it looked like. It was hard to find pictures of the pencil realm, but yeah, there he is, and he sits in there in his little foxhole. And it's designed so that when it's actually set up properly, when I've got the squads on it, like how I've done it, this little guy brings the ammo over. And then, because I take this thing to tournaments, one thing I did to help promote the channel on the back, Callum from Theatre of War Gaming, he does, laser cutting. So he laser cut that for me, and I painted it up and stuck it on the back. Yeah. Oh, wow. And I guess this is the display board from the back. There's a new project over here that I'm working on. Ooh. Yeah. So that's kind of like the main component of the army. And it's the part of the army that sits on my display board. Oh, there's also, of course, the 109 here. Because Dom and I are big fans of the experimental plane rules. So there's the 109. Yeah, so that's the main component of the army. I'm going to move across and let's have a look over here at the armored component of the army. So we've got quite a few different tanks. Gives us the option to just run whatever. We also have German tanks. So we've got this Jagdpanther and we have the Königstiger. Now the Königstiger is still a work in progress. It's not quite finished. And then we have our tanks that are Hungarian. Now usually what I do is if I'll run a tank in the Axis support slot is I'll run one of the German tanks even if it's got Hungarian markings, right? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense how the rules implemented in terms of how armies actually operate, but you know, whatever. So yeah, we've got a Tiger, a Panther, a Panzer III, Ausfahrung N. I don't know how to say N. I hope I said it right. It's been a while since I've spoken German. Panzer 38, or 38, Panzer 38, Czechoslovak, with the old markings, or the T38 as the Hungarians, I believe, called it. A Hetzer, and the cool thing about this Hetzer, I haven't actually brought out the part, but I can flip that off and put on the Flammhetzer. Hungary never had Flammhetzers, but you know, sometimes you're just playing fun what-if games. This one I'm really proud of. I'll see if I can add some pictures in, but I took this one up to Cairns for a tournament up there, which I'll even see if I can get that to show up in the annotations right now, the review of that tournament. And because that tournament was played at a tank museum, I went and put this Hetzer on the Hetzer at the tank museum. So yeah. Now, oh, and then the last thing we have that's German is an Opel Blitz. Yeah, because the Botans are harder to get your hands on, although I might get some soon. We'll see what happens. Now, behind them, we have the Hungarian tanks. So, here we go. We've got the Bad Batch here, which I painted up for the, what's it called? Tank Busters tournament, which is also on my channel and you can find. These were all painted in one day. So, I started with this one. This is the one where I went full detail because I painted the road wheels and I've painted every single rivet on this one. Whereas these two, I only painted the rivets that were kind of on the front and sides and I just left the rest. But these are Mad Bob's new kit. Now, I do have Mad Bob's old kit as well, which isn't painted because, I'll be honest, wasn't a fan of his old kit. No offense, Bob, if you're listening. But his new kit is phenomenal. It's honestly, this is one of the best kits I've ever put together. Just the level of detail, and it's amazing that it's coming from a small producer who, as far as I'm aware, is just one guy. So, yeah. These are my 3 Zrinis. I ran out of decals for the air recognition, so I put a crate from Rubicon and then draped a flag over it. Yeah, I didn't think about the fact that the flag would blend in with the camouflage. I don't know if I should go a brighter green, but then it's not really the right green as the Hungarian flag. So this here is one of Bob's older models. And you can kind of see on the wheels, I've had this for years and the resin is still kind of leaky. I've drilled holes to try and help with it, but yeah. This has had a couple of matte varnishes and it's still super shiny. The detail's great. Bob has reworked this kit as far as I'm aware. And so I definitely would recommend getting that. yeah, I don't really use the Toldi actually, to be honest. But it looks nice. This was the test paint for the 3 Zrinis. The Turan. This is the Warlord kit. Yeah, I painted this the day beforehand because I just wanted to check that I would get the camo scheme right. So yeah, that's my Turan. I haven't actually played it in a game. Yeah. So that's the tanks. Other than my 3 work-in-progress vehicles, so we have a second Panzer IIIN. Now, the Hungarian ones can't actually take Scherzen, but this one, I gave it Scherzen so that if I'm going to run a Panzer IIIN, I'm going to run this one, and if I'm running 2, I'm running this one as Axis support. And next to that, we have a Casper armoured car, 39M, and then a work-in-progress, the Rubicon Panzer II kit, which will obviously run as Axis support. The rest of my work in progress, you can see those extra Hungarians that I said about having the ability to switch in and out of the squad. Squad of paratroopers, and then my custom converted cavalry. So these guys are Polish cavalry from Warlord Games with a bit of a head swap. I just used German helmets from War Games Atlantic, Warlord, whatever. And then the arm, I believe, is Perry Miniatures Austrian Cavalry. And I figured the sword would probably be good to get Austrian Cavalry rather than anything else. So they need to be painted up. The Hungarian Cavalry rules are dumb. When we do get around to playing these, we will be using house rules that allow them to charge. Probably just copy the rules from maybe the Polish Cavalry. Because, now correct me if I'm wrong, but Hungarian cavalry participated in sword charges on the Eastern Front. So it's pretty dumb that they can't do that in the game. Up the back, we've got our border guards. Now these guys were a custom conversion. As far as I'm aware, Warlord now has the kit out. So there's a little bit of a, why did I do that? But also, I'm actually really proud of how they turned out. And it was at the time a unique unit when I took them to the tournament in Cairns. We have another Axis support unit, some regular SS. I think it's 22nd SS, I believe. I don't remember. They all have assault rifles and one has a MG42. We got a horse. So here at Irvin Gaming, when we use horse tows, because it's kind of impractical to put the huge 8 horses on the table, we just kind of usually have a horse or 2 on a 40mm or a 50mm base just as a template. And then up the back here, we have our medium artillery gun with the 4 crew. Now, this gun is actually the Italian one, and the crew are Afrika Korps. When I made it, the Hungarian artillery piece hadn't come out yet. Not seen here are the kits still in the boxes. So I do have the Hungarian-specific howitzer now. And I have the 44M Bota thing. I actually have no idea how to pronounce that. And if someone who's Hungarian could teach me, I would like to be able to pronounce it correctly. Well, you don't have to be Hungarian, you can just speak it, but yes. Yes, so that. And there's something else in there as well. I think it might be a machine gun team. So yeah, that's my Hungarian army. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the whole thing. Seeing how my project has gone. Yeah, oh, the other thing, sorry, I have in storage is another officer. So I can run a dual platoon. All in all, if you include the vehicles, I think I have about 4,000 points of Hungarians if you were to run multiple tank platoons. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed having a look at my Hungarians. Yeah, hit subscribe. We're very close to 1,000. When I hit 1,000, I will probably do a face reveal. So if you want to see what I look like, help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. Irvin, signing off.